Okay.
No, you're good. That was perfect. All right, guys, we are back. XTech Talks. I'm with Aubrey from Ronin Women's. What's the other company that you work with?
I work for Stay Ready Training too.
Okay.
So we do the training for the Ronin women.
Training for the Ronin Women's. Okay. We'll get into all of that. But my first question that I love to start with is, what was your first experience with the firearm that you can remember?
That I can remember would probably be growing up shooting a .22 out on the farm. Like, my dad wasn't a big firearms guy, but my uncle and grandfather were, and they were a little nervous that I wouldn't be able to handle a full-size firearm, which honestly, I was kind of small, so I can understand. But I got to get a lever action .22, hold it, shoot it. Oh my gosh, so much fun. But we didn't really have them in our house, and so if I ever wanted to shoot a gun, I'd have to go to my uncle and my grandpa. But that was my first experience. Didn't really catch the bug just because it was one of those things that's like, it wasn't normal, it wasn't really in our home. And so as I got older, I have made some friends along the way that they were really into competition shooting. And I'm like, you know what? I really, really would like to actually carry and protect myself. And that's kind of what it turned into. It was like, okay, pretend like I don't know anything, because essentially I didn't. But I had to swallow my pride and be like, hey, I would love to pretend like I have it all together, know what I'm doing, and I've watched enough movies put it together, but as we all know, movies are not correct on the whole firearms thing.
Not at all.
So I asked my friend, she's into competition shooting, her and her husband, and so we went to the desert and she walked me through a lot of things, and from that point on, I was like, okay, I want to learn more about this. So, I mean, I have more on my story if you want me to continue on.
Oh yeah, no, I was going to ask you to go deeper. What was the, I guess, defining moment that took you from your first experience to you turning the corner and wanting to do everything that you're doing now? From just someone who enjoyed firearms to now you're a professional with a firearm. So
I don't know if I say professional, but
you're a trainer, so
okay, yeah.
That's professional to me.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. We'll go with that. And yes, in my aspect. So I coach CrossFit as well. And okay. One of my athletes that was in my class, he said, hey, I got hired on with this company and I'm teaching a women's intro to pistol class. You should come check it out. And I'm always one for hey, supporting my friends and family and that kind of thing. I'm like, I will absolutely come take your class. Plus, hey, who doesn't need more training with this? So I showed up to his class and he was working for Stay Ready Training, and so I took it, and it was a women's intro to pistol. So they catered just to the women at a beginner's level. And so walked in, or not necessarily walked in, I was sitting there, and I knew my friend, so it was like a friendly face, a familiar face, which was a little bit easier. And so took the class, went through, worked on, just figuring out what your dominant eye is and your grip and all the different things. And from that first round, letting it go, I was like, it's like that fire that starts to get lit. You're like, it is such a what's the word? It's an adrenaline rush, but also a therapeutic moment.
Yes.
Oh,
I always
hell yes!
Guns
let's
are as
go.
Therapeutic as anything else.
100%.
Perfect group therapy.
It's great to see what you hit, but then when you shoot steel and hear that ring, it's that that moment of oh yeah, let's go. So I started on iron sights because I just had a basic gun, in which there's nothing wrong with iron sights. I actually really like them. That's how I've trained for essentially a while, and then my husband took my gun and put a red dot on it, and I'm still acclimating to it.
It's okay. Your husband is doing the right thing.
He's a wonderful man. But anyway, so I took that class, and I'm like, I want to take more. So Chris Haynes, the owner of Stay Ready Training, he has a background in SWAT. He has worked for MCSO. He worked with Sheriff Joe, and then he went over to Pinal County with Sheriff Lamb. And then he actually got in a really bad accident. He got hit by a car and broke both of his legs and had to retire. So he started this company about 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, to help people learn the defensive tactics and that kind of things. And so that's why it's Stay Ready. It's you don't want to get ready, you want to stay ready. So that's why it's called Stay Ready Training. So I went to all these classes. They have Pistol 2, Intro to Rifle, which I had never shot an AR. It's just one of those things, and I'm like, I don't know. I was super nervous, the kind of same thing as a lot of people do when they're shooting a pistol. So I tried it out. It's a lot of fun. It's extremely fun, but it definitely is more of a whole body workout, essentially.
For sure.
And so it's a lot of fun. My muzzle brake, everybody hates because it's good for me, but everybody that stands next to me, they're like, They're like having the concussion, like, ugh. And so apparently I need to find something else to do with that one. But so I took more classes, and so after a few classes, I turned to Chris and like, hey, I really like doing this. And he had all males as instructors, which there's nothing wrong. His crew was awesome. I'm like, hey, how would you feel about having a female come on and like help with your female classes? Because like I essentially learned from a female to start out with. She kind of gave me the tips and tricks to start off with what she's learned. And so he's like, that would be awesome. So like, you know, how would you feel about me coming on? So I started coming to classes and just kind of learning from him. And he's like, okay, he gave me little bits to start doing one. And then my first class, I think, was in like February of this year.
Oh,
or something
wow.
like that. So I taught my first women's intro to pistol class and never looked back. Like, it was such a rush, like being able to stand there and like see women that I always ask women what their level is when we first start. And they're like, hey, what's your history with guns, firearms, whatever, and why'd you come to class? And when I start my class, I always introduce myself saying why I started doing this. I have 3 children. I have 2 daughters and a son. And I'm obviously not a big woman, not big stature, and I like to think that I can hold my own, but honestly, let's be real. Like, someone throw me over their shoulder and go. Like, I can punch the kidney, stab out the eyes, whatever, but if there's more than one person, it's not really gonna happen. So essentially, I wanted to do it to protect me and my own. And so my husband was traveling a lot at the time. I'm like, I didn't want to feel unsafe at my own home. And so I decided that I needed to take control of my own protection. And so that's when I started carrying and learned and took the concealed carry class. And so that's what I tell women. I go, I do this because I want to transfer that desire and that empowerment to other women. And so that's kind of like my rally cry at the beginning, essentially. And so I tell women, I go, even if you're at level 0, like Kung Fu Panda style level 0, we will get you where you need to be. We want you to leave this class feeling like, okay, if I had to, I could do this. Like, I've had women come in, they're like, never shot before. I had a girl stand on the line. We've done dry fires, but we had live fire on. She was shooting it. She's holding it. We were standing there for a good 60 seconds. Everyone else on the line had shot. So I came up behind her, put my arms around her. I'm like, okay, you've got this. So I just held the gun with her, helped her pulled it, and she goes, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna cry. I said, and that's okay.
So I was about to ask you, how many criers have you had? Because I feel like that's the determining factor on trainers is how do you deal with that first crier that you get?
So she was my first one. And she's like, oh my gosh, I think we're crying. And I turned to her, I go, that's okay. I grabbed the gun from her, I go, no one knows how they're gonna react to this. You have an explosion going off in your hands.
Yeah.
No one knows how they're gonna react until they do it. And she like kind of teared up. She's like, okay, I got it done. Like, that was the first one. And so she was a little bit hesitant, but by the end of the class, she was firing off 8-round bursts, like continuous bursts, and she got through it, and she was holding it steady. Like, at first, there was a lot of play, and I'm like, okay, you gotta scoot up, get in that. And we worked through those things in the 2.5 hours of class. She was like, okay, I'm good, but I think I want to take this class again. I'm like, and that's the thing. There's always going to be something you can learn, even if you're taking the same class. And so I'm a big advocate of like to continue training, because you don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
And
yeah,
so,
it's a depreciating skill.
150%. Like, I don't love training indoors. Just there's a lot of percussion, that kind of thing. It's a lot. So we actually do all of our training outside at Rio Salado. So it takes away that extra sensory, I guess, of that feel and that kind of thing. So women can actually be a little bit more, or not necessarily women, we train men too, but my classes, so they can feel a little bit more at ease and not so much going on. So it's been an amazing journey. We actually have a class tomorrow night, so
okay,
I'm pretty stoked about it.
That's dope. Are you guys introducing, what's the structure of your women's class like?
So we start off like pretty much the good first 30 to 45 minutes. Obviously, we go through safeties of the range, like the 4 basic rules of holding a gun, that kind of thing. And then we introduce the parts of a gun, because like I said, we are talking about going from square one. So some women haven't even picked it up or don't want to pick it up, like they're scared. And so we talk about the mechanics, obviously how it works, the parts of it, what to hold, how to hold, finger along the frame. After we go through like those kind of things, I tell women, I go, we are going to do probably the hardest thing you'll do in this class. And like, I'm like, it's not firing the gun, it's racking that gun back. Yeah. Because smaller hands, it is rough. And when you're not have that arm strength, you're not used to it, it's a very awkward movement if you are not used to racking a gun. Now, most of us, it's second nature, like, let's go.
Yeah.
But for women that haven't done, they're like, and then trying to slide that thumb and lock it back. Most women have smaller hands, so they have to kind of turn and lock it up, the slide lock. So we practice that a lot. And then once they get that slide lock, I'm like, okay, now here's the fun part. release the slide lock. And it says forward. They're like, that's kind of cool. I'm like, I know, right? You never like, you kind of take those things for granted after you do it for so long. Like, just like the shotgun getting caught, like, that's an awesome sound. Letting that slide forward, it's a great sound too. So I've learned a lot of different tips and tricks for that. Like when people say push the slide lock down, essentially people are pushing it. I'm like, no, you got to strum it like a guitar. Like think of strumming a guitar, because then they're like, oh yeah. And so there's little things. And so we'll talk about finding their dominant eye. I actually have a kaleidoscope that I bring to my class, and I grab it. I go, okay, look through this. And usually they'll bring it to their dominant eye, and then we don't. There's times I have to forget, so then I have to do the trick of like looking through. But more often than not, they're going to bring that kaleidoscope up to their dominant eye and go, okay, let's start out with that. And so there's just
with
things.
That,
yeah.
Do you allow your students still to close an eye, or do you?
With iron sights, yes.
Okay.
If they're using an optic, no. Because.
Okay, so within that, which one do you teach first?
Well, so some of them don't have a gun. So we have pistols ready for them. Some of them have the optics, some of them don't. And so we give them the choice. I say and I tell them, I go, most guns that are sold do not have an optic on it. You can get them pre-bundled and that kind of thing. But so I always encourage them to try an iron sights as well as an optic. I go, but first we want to get over the hump of actually just firing the gun first.
Right.
And so once we've gotten like those first few shots, and then like, okay, try this one. So I actually have them try the 2 different kinds just so they can get used to it. I go, because heaven forbid your optic goes out and you're stuck with iron sights. So now you know how to use it. So that's how I learned first. And so it's definitely been a transition for me to go from my iron sights to my optic. But yeah, no, we have them try both. And then we'll explain the difference between training rounds and hollow points, and like, because people don't know, like they don't know that there's a difference.
People think hollow points are still illegal to have, and
right.
It's like, no,
there's this weird, like,
you can even have external hollow points now. Like, yeah, technology is really advanced. That's interesting. I used to run a women's only class in Colorado, and I learned very quick that just getting over the core fundamentals of stance, grip, making sure you're target focused, I start everybody on the dot. And then when we go back to irons, your presentation is essentially perfect. So you pick up that front sight in the middle a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's 1,005 techniques. But that one, to me, has seemed to be the one that expedites our training sessions a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I said, with that, we don't have all of them having the dots and that kind of thing, and then women bring their own to
usually
practice.
Don't have dots.
And so they want, I'm like, well, if this is one you're going to be using, I want you to use this and get used to it. And so I'll train them with the one that they bring to class. A lot of them actually bring 38s, and I'm just like, okay, well, that's great, but a lot of times, and that's almost every time we have some kind of malfunction or something with those. And so like, I'm like, you picked it because it was pretty, huh? Like, it's some kind of color, it's cute and hold. And so then I'll actually go into the size of like how size does matter. Like, yes, carrying a small gun is a lot easier to carry. But if you are going out in the range and going to shoot, I prefer a full size every day of the week. Between the barrel length, the consistency, just, it's easier for me to control recoil because you've got that much more. And so they're like, really? So I'll have them shoot my carry, and then I'll have them shoot my full size. And like,
oh, I'm definitely clipping this as one of
crap.
our short clips, because thank you for saying that, because you're a smaller stature woman.
Yes.
And you prefer larger guns.
Every day of the week. And I use it as a joke. I'll say size does matter. With this.
Okay, yeah. Dispel that myth. Women, I used to get into my classes all the time too. They'd come with the Easies.
The little Taurus, the MP shields, bodyguards. Yeah.
The shields. Even the 365s, like, get one to train on and then carry that if you want to, but understand you need to learn on a larger frame.
Yes. Well, and I tell them that. I go, I have my concealed carry. I actually don't like shooting it because it's not fun for me. It's not necessarily enjoyable. Like, I still like to shoot, but these other guns that I have here, any day of the week, like my X5 Legion. I know you guys don't like the P320s, but I love it. I actually have a Springfield Prodigy, also super fun to shoot, full size. My Chris Haynes, my boss, he's a big Glock guy because he was in law enforcement, so we shoot a lot of Glocks, like all of them full size. But he actually has a Glock subcompact for his carry as well.
Yeah.
And so he says the same thing. He's like, I actually don't like shooting this thing, but I will practice with it. And so we actually have a carry from concealment class. So you practice drawing from your concealment. Like I'll bring my bag or whatever, and that's how we practice. Like, okay, you're standing there, distance, unzip, pull. Like we practice that. And I don't like that class because I have to shoot my concealed.
Yeah.
But when we're out on the range, I have my holster and I have my full-size gun, and I get crap like from the dudes who are like, okay, there's you with this big ass gun on your hip. I'm like, and it kind of makes me feel like a badass when I'm walking with that. And so it's one of those things that's like, I feel like it's like that say hello to my little friend thing. Like,
Yeah.
because honestly, all day long, like it's something in my hands, I can grip it, I can have it steady. Any day of the week, I would shoot a full size over a concealed carry, subcompact, whatever. So.
I agree. So what is one of the biggest differences that you've noticed, a common difference you've noticed in training women as opposed to training men?
I hate to say it, but women are definitely more open to
They're better
criticism.
students. You
Yes,
can say it.
100%.
You do not have to sugarcoat it.
I actually
Women are better students.
I make a joke though too, because my husband, he's an amazing man and I love him to death, but I do not learn well from him. Like he'll try to teach me things, but he's my husband. He's my partner in life, not necessarily my teacher in this. And so like Chris or some of the other, they'll tell me something. He'll be like, he's like, I literally just told you the same thing. I'm like, I'm sorry, it just sounds different from somebody else. But when my friend Lori, when she was teaching me, she just said it a different way. That's a little bit easier for me to process. And so with that, between men and women, women are definitely more open to criticism and to be taught. I have had the pleasure of teaching men that are very open, and like, it's just I don't know if they're just being nice because I'm the only female there, but they make the corrections that I suggest, and they're like, oh, I never thought of it that way. I go, but also having another perspective from a man and a woman is helpful too. So you just get to see different things.
Okay. That makes sense.
It's funny because Chris said,
So when you have a blank canvas student, male and female,
okay,
and you're teaching both of them, does the woman usually outperform the guy? And it's okay if they do, because generally speaking, blank canvas women are going to shoot better because you guys are more in tune with your fine motor skills as opposed to men and mass motor skills.
Yes, at the beginning, that is the case. But I think as we put more rounds through and as they get the hang of it, I think the repetitiveness, the consistency, I see more women are more anticipating the trigger pull, where men get used to that a little bit faster so they can make more consistent shot and grouping. That's what I have seen a bit more of. It's not always the case, but I had actually a father-daughter duo come in the other day, and he was very like into it and very interested, where she was not as, she just turned 21 and she like the safety was like she would be, she wore Birkenstocks to the range, and I'm like, okay, well, when I actually teach my women's class, I send out a text to all my females. I'm like, hey, this is what you should wear, this is what you need to bring, like. And so when I'm not the lead, they don't always get that text. And so I came together as our group and like, hey, when you, just a thought, if you have women come to your class, just throw that out there, because we're over-prepared sometimes. We need to know, like, straight up. But the dad was very much like, okay, I want to do this right. And I think it was kind of more like, also he wants to show his daughter, like, this is something important too. So it was a really cool dynamic to watch, where she was more like, okay, whatever. And you could tell, like, dad just brought her to bring her, where, like, I've seen women come together as friends, and that gets competitive. Like, when they come and shoot, it's so much fun.
It is.
The trash talking, and
it is so fun. So in Colorado, I expelled all men from my women's class, and it was because we had so many women coming in with their dads, brothers, boyfriends, husbands, uncles, somebody that was teaching them to teacup, to tilt their head.
Yeah, yes.
They were shooting some gun that just was not enjoyable.
Right.
So we already had a free ladies' night. So I was like, okay, women like to do things together. So I took one of my students. I was like, hey, get all of your friends and bring them on Thursdays. So we would go through the class. They would all shoot a shotgun at the end, just because I want to dispel that myth that women can't shoot or handle a shotgun. Shout out to Fiocchi. They came out with low recoil slugs for home
Really?
defense. And on the box, they actually have a woman holding a shotgun. I was like, this is the best marketing.
Absolutely.
Best marketing scheme you guys could have came up
So
with.
we have Fiocchi ammo, but I didn't know they came out with that one.
Yes.
Good to know.
And if you ever want it, I have a Mossberg 590S that is literally made for smaller statured people. That's literally what the S
That would
stands
be
for.
a blast.
And with the Fiocchi ammo, it's a blast. I'll show you the videos
Okay,
after.
cool.
But we would go through that, and at the end, I would have them play quick draw, which is basically whoever goes first, you have to beat their motion, and whoever hits the target in the zone first wins. And it turned into, like, I just stepped back and was just on the timer, like, I'm not getting involved at this
No
point.
way.
It's
You've
just
got
go.
friends in, they're
Yeah.
like, all right, let's
It was
do
amazing.
this. Collectively, women trash talking was fun to see.
Yeah. The class you could tell that they were much more relaxed and able to absorb the information because they had a bunch of their friends,
Yes.
as opposed to, I don't know, maybe it's just other men that just throw off the the environment. But yeah, when they got together, it was funny because it'd be at the end of the day, so like the whole day up until around like 5 o'clock, I would have to mentally prepare, like, all right, as soon as they come through this door, it's energy on 100% until we leave.
Yep.
And honestly, they would change my mood after having a long day at the range.
Good.
It's very similar to like teaching kids.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, men, take your women to classes. Do not teach them yourself.
Honestly, you will avoid a lot of fights that way, for
Yes,
sure.
100%.
We make the joke, it's like divorce lawyers on the phone. Like, none of that. It's one of those things I'm like, my husband's very handy. He can show me how to do things like around the home. That awesome, wonderful. But like with archery and firearms, it's like he has somebody else tell me things. And like, unless I ask you, don't tell me. That's
Right.
really where it's at. Unless I'm doing something unsafe, then tell me. But other than that, I'm not meaning to be a brat, but that's just like real life.
Yeah,
Like,
it's real.
yeah.
So you mentioned that you have kids.
I do.
When did you, or how did you decide to introduce them to firearms?
We actually do a kids class with SRT, with Stay Ready Training. We start out with Glocks, but they're airsoft Glocks, and we train them on that and show them that. My youngest, actually, my son, he's autistic, and so we aren't anywhere near that point. He does understand that these are tools, not toys, and it's a very plain thing in our home. It's like they are around and they see us use them, clean them, that kind of thing, but it's like they are not something that you go and play with. They're not sought after. If you want to use them, then we tell us, say, okay, we'll make a day, we'll go to the range and do that. But no, my two daughters, they're 15 and 12. We took them out, but this is not even a year ago, but my middle child was 11. She's definitely smaller than my 15-year-old, and she didn't like it as much. She's definitely smaller hands, that kind of thing. But it was a good experience for her to see the power of it and to understand what they do. Like, this is a tool, not a toy. And that was the point we were driving home. My 15-year-old, on the other hand, she's like, Mom, this is awesome. Like, I want to keep doing this. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Like, she's almost about my size, and so it's one of those things that it's like, you have the body function and the mechanics that you can control this now, and you have the wherewithal. Where my daughter's getting a little bit bigger, my second child, she's getting a little bit bigger, and she's getting to that point. She's like, Mom, I think I want to try again. I'm like, okay, when you are ready, I am absolutely here to help you. And so they love shooting the 22. We actually have a lever action Winchester Golden Boy, like so much fun to shoot. We've taken them out to shoot that. We have a little 22, I forget what it's called, but it's like definitely more of like a tactical looking, we have an AR-22. And so they've shot that, which they love because 22s are easier to shoot. But of course the freaking mag gets gummed up because they're 22 and they're light, and so we have to and so that's fun. We've taken them out to the desert. It's just, we have to be very, for lack of a better term, tactical about it, because my son, he is one of those that wants to wander around and go explore and that kind of thing. And so if we do it, it's either like one parent or the other is going to do it, because one always has to be with him. And so, but we like to do things as a family. We don't want to leave one of them out. We want to keep everything together, because with like autism, it's already excluding enough on certain things that we don't want it to make like, oh, we got to exclude him. So we make sure that our whole family's included on things that we do. So
you're planning to introduce him to
eventually,
guns?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He is making huge huge progress. Like when he was 3, he was diagnosed as level 3 autism nonverbal. And he is now speaking in full sentences. He can ask for things. He can write his name. From where he was to now is night and day. Like people that don't see him for a little bit, they're just like, holy cow. So he is comprehending, but his mental growth obviously is at a delay than it would be for a normal gen ed kid. So it's one of those things where it's like, eventually down the road, we will. But having him be around it, it's not as like, oh my gosh.
Right.
Like it's not such
He's
a
at
huge
least
thing.
familiar with it.
Exactly. He might not be handling them, but he watches, he sees, he understands. We show them at the end, like the paper targets. This is what it does. It makes holes. And like he see movies, like you're not going to not keep him from it, but like this is what happens when guns hit people and people die and that kind of thing. And so it's we put the very real thing on it. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. And my kids don't love it because I'm that mom that's like, no, you can't go to the mall with your 2 friends. Oh, you have 4 deep, or I'm going with you, because the world the way it is right now, I'm sorry. Like teenage girls, I don't care. Sorry, I'm not going to let you, and I'm going to be there, or your dad's going to be there. And so my girls get a little like, but I'm like, sorry, at least you're going to be here and not traded off somewhere. So I am very real with my children. Too close to the border for that. 100%. I am very real with my children. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat, and I tell them what can happen and what's the result. And so some people might think that I'm too harsh, but I am going to be 100% honest with my children.
Honestly, that's refreshing to hear. I've run my boys program, and we use firearms as our martial art too, and it's our vehicle to teach them about the realities of what's going on in life and why carrying a gun is even as important as it is. So no, I 100% understand with being honest with them. Like they have to understand, because like you said you have teenagers. We have a couple that just got into high school, and now we're drilling into them like, look, you got about 3.5 years before everything that you're doing is accounted to you, not your parents anymore. So you're going to have to learn how to be self-sufficient. This is one of the ways you're going to be self-sufficient. But yeah. Wow. Okay. So teaching your kids versus teaching other people's kids, because you said you guys have a
we haven't done a ton of them, but that was probably one of the last classes we did with kids, because we haven't had a lot of interest. And so we're kind of trying to ramp SRT back up, because Chris was at a point where he's like, I don't know if I'm going to continue on. And so kind of around the time where we're focusing more on the women's side of it, I guess. And when we partnered with Ronin Arms and Ronin Women, it kind of got ramped back up. And so he's like, okay, maybe this is something we still need to proceed with. So we actually do a women's self-defense class too, where we take half the day on a Saturday or Sunday, and women come and we teach them the basics of self-defense. But there have been people starting to ask. And so honestly, our only avenue of advertising is social media and word of mouth. And so it's like, it's not as big as obviously we would love it to be, but eventually, hopefully it carries out to that. And
I think there are ways to get more kids in there.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I go, there are more people than we think that want to bring their kids to try this out, to actually just
private schools and privately owned daycares and Montessori's. Check those out. Those avenues have been vital for my program. We went from not having any in with the school to now we're in 3 schools in Atlanta, and we're about to have another school in St. Louis. And we just had a conversation with the New Jersey Department of Social Services to see if we can get implemented out there too.
That's awesome.
So it's just a matter of finding those ends, but you guys can do it.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is Arizona. Like, it's a right to carry state. Like, people want their kids to be, and I know people take their kids out shooting and that kind of thing, but most of the time it's like the 22s and like shotguns and that kind of thing. Not a ton of people use pistols. Like, I have a good friend, he's a long range shooter, and so his son, and they hunt, and so they've done rifles, but his son's never shot a pistol before. And so it's one of those things like, let's go. Like,
it's that, and I'm not knocking it, but usually when kids are learning, it's a projection of the adult skill set and what they assume the kid is able to do. Our kids are running stages with no shoots, suppressors, like they're doing everything now, but it's because we've empowered our staff to be like, hey, if y'all believe and y'all are comfortable with them doing it, run it. I don't care. But we can't do that. We cannot put that ceiling over them, because if we get kids into guns at 10, 11, 12, being within the industry, just understanding how far you can go and what you can do. What is their trajectory when they
Starting
get into
here,
it? Exactly.
yes,
Yeah.
100%.
We got into it, like you said, your first gun was at
30 years old.
And they have their guns.
I'm now 40. And like I said, a year and a half ago is when I really got into it.
Right, yeah.
I wish that I would have had this knowledge and that kind of thing years and years ago.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of the same thing as CrossFit. Like, I'm probably in the best shape I've ever been in. I grew up playing soccer, so I had the engine, I could run.
Right.
But I had zero muscle. It was, all I had was like my right leg could shoot, and that was it. And so like now I'm like, I'm stronger than I've ever been, and it's the functional portion of it. Like my son, like I said, he will have those meltdowns, and I've had to literally pick him up, and he's an 80-pound child. I've had to pick him up and carry him out of the store. Like, I'll hand my bag to my daughter, hand my sunglasses to my other daughter, grab him, and we go. And that's the thing. It's one of those, like, knowing your limits, but knowing that you can do hard things and pushing them. That's what I'm trying to instill on my children and the women I teach. It's like, yes, this is scary, but if it came down to it, you want to protect you and your own.
Right.
That's the baseline of everything. And
I think that's the actual, because the term or the phrase empowerment, I don't want to say it gets overused, but it gets used a lot. But I think that is the fundamental meaning of it, is allowing someone to be self-sufficient and confident with whatever you instilled in them.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's why, like you're saying, you have a different attitude after you're done with that class. Like, there will be, because we do 6 to 8:30 on weekday nights, and so there's nights when I'm like, I'm tired, like, I work, and I have all these things, and I have my kids, and volleyball, and just all the different things, and I'm like, all right, I have class. And so I have to get into that mental space, but I'm like, I want them to feel the same thing I did on that class.
Right,
so
right.
I have to shift, and like, me and my boss have really good rapport. We have a very fun shorthand, and it's really good. We work together really well. And so we kind of play off each other, and I'm not gonna lie, my women's class is a little more inappropriate than if I just do a regular intro to pistol class, just because I try to read the room, but like we've had elderly gentlemen there. It's just kind of hard to make inappropriate jokes between men and women if you don't know them, and usually women are more acceptable of it, I guess.
Yeah.
And so we run with it.
I let them shoot off the first one, and I'm like, all right, I know where the governor is now.
Like, we'll be talking about holding and having the finger on the trigger. I'm like, you want just the tip, and I'm all, and see who like reacts. And so there's just stuff like that. And so I very much enjoy it. At the end of the night, I'm totally like, okay, re-energized. And then my drive home, like, all right, now I'm ready for bed. Like, but it's fun leaving because women talk at the end. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. This was so much fun. It's one of those, like, they have that high that I do. If I can see that at the end of each class, we're like, okay, and like, that's exactly what I want. Like, do you feel like you could grab that gun and use it if you had to protect yourself and your family? And like, yeah. I mean, obviously we never really actually know until the time presents itself, but the more you do it, the less hesitant you're gonna be. And that's what I tell them. I go, it doesn't need to stop here. I have introduced you to this. Now is your opportunity to continue to use this. And like you said, like with grip, I make the joke about the teacup thing, and I'm like, we're in America here, y'all. Let's get it on there. Like,
British. We don't do tea time.
Exactly. Yeah. That's I make that joke.
Unless you're on a golf course. But yeah.
There you go. And so it's just fun. Or like I'll say when they're putting in the mag, I'm like, smack it, like, or because a lot of women will stand and they'll stand like this. I'm like, stick your butt out, like twerk it if you have to. And so
I heard you say that one, and that one actually made me laugh. The first time I heard that, I was like, I don't think I can use that one, but
that's what Chris says. He
goes,
I can't say that, but you can go ahead. And so it's this things that will make people remember. And it's like, lean in. You can only say that so many times, and I'm like, okay, stick your butt out like you're gonna twerk, and then like, oh, and that helps them. Like, it's just little cues that are going to help them. And obviously, I don't want them leaning like super far, but after they shoot that first shot, they're coming back up to where they need to be anyways. And so it's like, especially if we're doing multiple rounds, it's like, okay, now you're where you're going to be, because they're going to be going. I'm like, so I'll walk behind them, and I'll like, if you feel me touching your shoulders, just you need to lean back in. So I let them know that they're gonna feel me behind you, or I'm gonna say something and that kind of thing. So they're not like, whoa. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed myself. I've had anywhere from like 2 people to my class, and then we've had 15 people. Like, so it's a great time, and I have very much enjoyed. It's a very rewarding experience for me. Like, even if I can get one woman walking out of there and like, okay, let's do this. Like, I actually had my stepmom come to one of my classes.
Really?
Yeah, and because my brother's a Navy SEAL, and he took her to the range, and he kind of taught her. But again, Navy SEAL teaching his mom, like there's going to be some like gappage there, and so I feel like I'm kind of like just like a little bit of the buffer. Like he's like level awesome, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna start here, you know. And so she's like, I don't want to embarrass my son, and I'm like, I don't think he would be embarrassed at all by the fact that you are willing to do
Yeah,
this.
you're at the class.
So she came and she had a great time, but she had an M&P shield, and it was real sticky. Like I had a hard time racking it. Like my husband, like it was rough. And so I said, hey, how about we go and do like a double date? We'll go to Shields or wherever you want to go. We'll go through all the different guns. Like they have a really wide selection. I'm like, I will go with you. I want you to handle each gun. I want you to rack and see how it feels. And so we ended up taking a day we went to Shields, and we met one of the actually, one of the guys used to work with Chris, so he was at the sheriff's department. So super nice, walked us through all of them. She was able to go through each one, and she found one that she really liked. She ended up with the P365, and so, but it's one that she could do. But just from the time, it was only a week and a half from my class to that, she forgot like how she needed to properly hold to rack because she hadn't done it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, even if you're not going to shoot it, go home and just practice. Get that muscle memory. I call it underwear drills. And like you just sit there and do it in your underwear. Like I tell people that I go, make sure you're clear, double check, have someone else verify you're clear. Just keep doing that. Pull, click, like feel that, and you're gonna get so much more used to it.
Even to add to what you're saying, getting used to that trigger while you're just sitting at home doing nothing, you're programming it into your subconscious.
When you know where that wall is.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. I used to tell my students that all the time. They were like, well, how do you get familiar? I was like, if I'm just watching football or something, there's a gun in my hand. Just
that's what I say. My kids have seen it. They see it, and they know it's, and I tell them, I go, you want to come check too? And they come check. When I'm out, I'm like, hey, check, make sure. They all know everything's clear, but they see it. And so it's, my kids know, like, okay, this is something they're practicing. This is a tool. This is something, obviously I don't need to use it as often as my cell phone, but I want to use it just as good as I use my cell phone, you know?
Yeah. So I guess the last topic I wanted to discuss is, you mentioned it, you're a CrossFit coach as well.
Yeah.
Fitness and firearms, to me, they go hand in hand.
Yes.
They have to.
Yes.
Like, I make the joke, I will discriminate against fat instructors because it's not much you can teach me other than to pull the trigger. But if I need to move, how far can you move before you're out of breath? Right. And what am I learning at that point? Right. So from a fitness instructor and a firearms instructor, how do you fuse those together, and why are they so important and go hand in hand?
Honestly, being able to have the muscle, like stamina, to hold your firearm, to pull, to stabilize, to have your core ready, to have your legs, like all those things come into play. When you are holding, it was funny because one of the first times when I went and did the PSSC class out at Rio, I was gripping, and it was one of the first, like I wasn't super comfortable with it yet. And Kippy, she came up to me, she's like, you need to relax. She grabs my firearm, she goes, holy shit, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, because I was death gripping it, yes. And so I was like, okay, sorry. She's like, you need to relax. And so that's one of the things that I tell my girls. But like, you're gonna get that muscle fatigue. You're gonna get breathing. Your adrenaline's gonna shoot into you. You need to know how to handle all those things. And if you are in shape and you're able to continue through it and fight through that fatigue, fight through that adrenaline, keep a clear mind with like all these things going around, that's going to help you in the situation. Like when you're fighting, we do a physical pistol class where you're doing drags, you're shooting around barricades, you're running, coming back, shooting, running, coming back, shooting. So you can steady your hand, steady your heart rate, and perform under those, what's the scenarios, like that kind of thing. So it's huge to be able to carry yourself while you carry. Because if you don't have the fitness and the capacity to even just carry your gun and stabilize it, what's the point? Like, you're gonna get one shot off and then you're like, okay, well,
right,
you know.
Dead.
So yes, exactly. I mean, not to discriminate, I think everybody should try it, but you should also exercise your body if you're going to be doing this.
Right.
Like, it's gonna add, I mean, obviously it's not that heavy, but when I'm carrying, it's gonna add an extra.
Tell us what you are carrying.
Oh, so I'm actually carrying a P938. It's just a small SIG. I really enjoyed it, actually. It's fun, but like I was saying, I don't love shooting it, but it's, if I need it, it's there, and it's quick and easy, quick release, slide, iron sights. I probably clean it a little too often just because it doesn't get used, but I'm constantly doing this, so it's good to have. And the thing I don't love, it's actually a little bit hard to like get this in. I feel like the mag likes to stay out a little bit, so I have to give it that little extra. But that's really my only complaint on this one. So
got you.
Yeah.
I lied. I wanted to go back because your student you took ended up with a 365, right?
Yes.
As much as I'm not a SIG fan, the macro is my number one recommendation for women when they're asking about guns. Do you recommend guns, or do you say go and figure it out yourself?
I tell women, I go, we have certain kinds here. Like, we'll have SIG, we have Glocks, we have different ones. You can try all these out. I'm a big advocate of finding what works for you. I tell them, I know a lot of people really like the 365. I think actually SIG came out with like this fuse. It's like it's a longer barrel. Yeah. And I actually took my friend. Does it? Okay.
Does. I literally used to use that in my women's class.
Okay.
And it was good, but when I tried to run it during like a course, it got hot really fast.
Okay, good to know.
It's still a great teaching tool. I will 100% advocate for that, but I couldn't carry it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, these are all good things because like I only know so much. So getting different perspectives from different people is great. Like with the whole Kimber thing, I was like,
oh yeah. and that's still secondhand information, but it's from someone who I trust,
a reliable source. Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting because I'll be honest, I know I can generally understand where the new gun owner's mindset is going to go, and unless they outright tell you they don't have a budget, they're going to fall back on, this is a great first gun. And I'm like, there's no such thing as a great first gun in the context of it's not as good as the other gun that I could spend more money on right now. Right.
And I think we're so programmed to do that, like, I'm just starting off on this. But with shooting, you're only going to get better with that gun. The gun's never going to, yes, you're going to have malfunctions, that kind of thing, but you clean it. You're going to get better with that gun. That is definitely something I agree with. It's like, okay, invest a little bit more with a higher quality gun. And I have said that. I say, don't go for the cute. Don't go for the lower budget gun. Spend a little extra. And I volunteered. Like, I've gone with another woman to get it at Shields. I'm like, I'll go to Shields any day of the week.
Gun fittings. That's what I call them.
Yes, that's a great.
I hate selling you a gun. Yes. I will go and fit a gun to what you want. And I have a list of questions. What do you plan to do with it in 1 to 3 years? What features are you looking for it to have? Okay. What price range are you trying to stay within? Okay. And generally speaking, based off of common knowledge, you can find decent options for them, and then I let them pick from there. But I'll have people coming up to me with like the old Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, and it's like, no, not for a first gun, not to learn on. But,
no, and the smaller, it's harder with the smaller gun too. Like when you're trying to rack and do stuff, like it's a miniature version of what you need to learn on. So that's not going to help you one way or the other. Yes, it can shoot, but it's going to pretty much handicap you in any other way.
I had so many skies come to my class.
Yeah, we've only had one, and so I was like, okay, well, here's the thing.
I had to show them. I had to shoot the gun. Like, y'all have seen me shoot the demo throughout the class. Right. I'm going to shoot my gun, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this gun. And y'all tell me which gun performed better. Just to show them, like...
Side-by-side comparison.
I'm not shitting on you, but...
This is reality of it, yeah.
You have to make better decisions. But now you have more education to make those better decisions.
Yeah, and that's a lot of women like, oh yeah, my boyfriend bought me this gun, or this, or this, or this. And it's like...
That's why he's not allowed in my class.
Exactly. Well, I tell him, I go, there are some men that show up, and I tell them, I go, if you're going to be here, you're going to sit back here on the bleachers and you can watch. I don't want you saying anything in my class. I don't want you putting in your 2 cents, because she's here to learn this. And a lot of women get intimidated and feel like they're being judged or something if somebody's there. Not even necessarily man or woman, but like it's one of those things. And I'm like, I don't like having to do something and be like, oh, what is he thinking now? Like, and if I can just perform freely, it's a little bit better. And so...
No, I love that. My approach is the polar opposite. Oh, wow. No, there's some of the wreck cars that are coming out.
Oh, dang.
But no, my approach is the exact opposite. I'll put him on the line and we'll do a performance drill. And I'll show him, you are worse than her. Please stop talking.
Okay, well,
And
there
to
you
me,
go.
that ends the entire argument. And then I'm doing the drill with them, so he sees my target, her target, and his target. It's like, yeah, bro, you're still doing this, so we're
We don't
gonna
need
put
you
you
to-
over here.
this.
And actually, if you want, you can learn with her during the class.
You can just pay for my fee now,
Yeah,
too.
but you're not about to like
Yeah, no. Take over.
overshadow in any capacity.
Yeah. I think maybe down the road when my confidence does get a little bit more, I'm still at that whole, I know my fundamentals.
Oh,
and I
no,
know the
it's
basics.
completely condescending. I do not suggest anybody do what I do, but if I notice that you're an overbearing man trying to see what she's learning, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, well, and I just nip it in the bud before it even happens because I'm not that person. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm like, she's not here to listen to you. She's here to get this.
Exactly, yeah.
And I actually, when women come in, I have them introduce themselves, tell us their background with firearms, but then I also will do a fun fact, like, hey, what's your favorite ice cream? Or stuff like that, just so it kind of brings the group together because sometimes these are all women that don't know any of them.
Right.
And so I have had women come from my CrossFit class that want to learn too, and so I know them and they know me, but I tried to get a good cohesive, I'm because if you want to shoot, it's fun shooting with somebody else. Going to the range is fun, but going with a friend is even better.
Yeah,
and
for
so and I very much am hey, get each other's numbers. Totally, if you want to hang out, make friends here. This, and that's what Ronin Women is about. It's getting women together that like to shoot and want to have a community of women that go out and shoot and support each other and lift each other up. We're not going to be oh, you're not wearing Lulu, sorry, you're not allowed. It's not Mean Girls. Anybody can come sit at this table. I'm very much that person that's I'm gonna wear jeans. I just got my first pair of tack pants a week ago because 511 was having a sale. I'm oh, let's try these out. But these cover my ass just as well as those do. So,
Right.
and I can wear my gun belt and my leg holster on it. And so it's one of those things I'm you don't have to have the best and the shiniest and all those things.
Nah, and
just
I'm a big proponent
come the way as you are.
Yeah, train with what you're going to be carrying.
Exactly.
The other day, it was kind of funny. I went to Phoenix Rod and Gun just to do some product testing, and I was dressed essentially just like this. Crocs, running shorts, t-shirt. And you could see the military bros that were in the bay right next to me were kind of side-eyeing me until they saw me clear a plate rack, and they couldn't. And I was well, this is what I'm in.
Yeah, this is my
usually,
normal
so,
day, yeah.
Yeah, this is my gray man, because clearly you didn't expect me to do this, so who else is going to expect me to do this?
Those reels when the lifters are oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
That is exactly what it was. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just think people need to get, and I got the Crocs thing from my other instructor. He wears Crocs religiously on the outdoor range.
Oh, nice.
So I was if he can do it, I can definitely do it. And his were American
There you
flag
go,
themed and
yeah.
everything. But
I only wear
Yeah.
Crocs for surgery, so
No, I get it.
No,
I get
it's
it.
one of those things that's a mental thing for me. I'm I can't do it because I've had blood and everything else on them, so it's just the whole mental those.
Yeah,
those are
yeah.
a separate thing. But to eat, they're comfortable as all get out. That's why I wore them in surgery because you're standing for hours, so I can totally get that. But and that's the thing. Ronin Women was the inception from Misty, is to have women have a safe place to come and be and to learn. And you don't have to know everything. We don't even want you to know everything because sometimes when women know everything, they think that they're better. We don't want chips. No shoulder chips, none of that. Come and just be as you are, and we accept you as that. And that's been the biggest thing. And so we had the last event a couple weeks ago before they went to Texas, and it was a medical training, and then we did some force on force. And so we had the airsoft gun, and it was just running scenarios of people. I was the, not necessarily belligerent friend, but the argumentative friend that came in with the women and oh, this person might be here. And sure enough, that person was there. So we kind of got in a fight, and they drew and fired on me, wounding me, and I went down, and they had to figure out what am I supposed to do in the situation?
Shoot them.
But some women froze, and that's the thing. We were trying to get it as most real world scenarios we can without it being. And so some women froze, some women were straight up. One girl, she actually worked for Department of Corrections. She didn't even let it escalate. I was trying to, she's no, Aubrey, let's go. She kept pushing me back. She straight up ended up picking me up, throwing me over her shoulder. She's we're leaving. I'm okay, guess you didn't need to draw your gun. So, she escalated it. And
the
so
best gunfight is when you don't get in.
100%.
Yeah.
And so that it was a really good thing to show. But we told them, it wasn't the same scenario. I did different things and they did different things, but there wasn't a right or wrong. It was what you were going to do in that situation, what you needed to do to make yourself safe and to help me, since we did medical in that. So they're supposed to
now they're more in tune with their fight or flight reaction. So that's dope. That's dope. So this is the actual last question.
Okay. All right.
Your off-body carry versus on-body carry.
Correct.
Break that down for us, and as an instructor, why you choose to carry off-body and what you carry off-body in.
Right. So I actually have this is my bag. It's funny enough, I tell everybody this is an amazing bag, which I do love. I'm not a woman that is a designer handbag girl. Like, I would rather spend my money on a gun than a bag or shoes or anything like that. I'm like, I love my shoes, but honestly, the money I can put towards that is better. But this is from the Watchful, and unfortunately I've tried to find their stuff and I can't, but I've looked for similar types of bags. So it's just basic, just a front pocket. I actually have my keys and, this one, my keys, my pocket knife, and I actually do have a taser right here. It's more for like the sound deterrent. Like, if you hear one, honestly, like, really, if you hear it, someone's like, oh crap. And like, I don't want someone to get close enough, because if they are far away, my spidey sense tingling, my hand is already in the back of my bag on my carry. So it has its own separate, which I really love, because the zippers are either way and you can switch it from side to side. So if you're right or left-handed, I always carry it on the front of me, because if my guns, I don't want it behind me. Right. And my wallet, all the things, everything's in front of me. So if I need to, it's just pull and go. So it's 2 quick motions and it's already out. Or if I want to zip it up, zippers go either way, which is super nice. A lot of women's concealed bags, they have to like dig through it and find it. That is the biggest thing that I can suggest to a woman. If you are looking for a concealed carry bag, have a bag that has a designated pocket for your gun. Like, do not just throw it in there. Right. Because you're wasting precious seconds trying to fish through everything. Like, let's be real, women. We have a lot of shit in our bags. Like, you don't want to have to be like, where the hell is it? And okay, you're dead. Like, or you're taken or whatever. And so find a bag that's a designated pocket for your carry and you can go for it. I don't carry on myself just because I am a person that's comfort over fashion or whatever. So most of my clothes are like stretchy jeans. And so trying to find in the waistband, it's gonna feel like I'm printing a lot. Pretty much on anything that I wear, I'm printing. And so there's a lot of cute clothes out there. I'm not a big fan of layering, so if I'm gonna have to wear a belt and this, and I'm like, and it's hot as hell here. So I don't want to be sweating like crazy.
100 degrees in October was not ideal.
Right, and so I'm like, this at least I can get airflow and I can move and I can turn from side to side if I need to. But this is always on me, and it's easy access. And like I said, if I do have to pick up my son, that's right there, and I can't do that. Or, it's just my preference because I don't have a rigid belt. I don't have an extra belt that's on there, and it's just something that I think I have a little bit more of the extra sensory kind of thing. Like, it just bothers me having that right up against me. So it's just not my choice. So I know it's personal preference, but I don't like being hot. I don't like being something sweaty stuck on me. Like, legitimately at the gym, as soon as I start sweating, I already have I'm in my sports bra. I'm not keeping my shirt on. I'm that person like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe. So I am a big fan of a concealed carry bag. So.
Got you. And how often do you train with the concealed carry bag?
I like to say more often, but I don't. It's probably close to like once a month that I bring it out, and like I just bring it. But I can do the underwear drills. So live fire is like the once a month type of thing. But at home, I will hold it and pull. Yeah. No, at home it's definitely more. Like, I just practice how fast I can get, and that kind of thing. So like I said, big advocate of the underwear drills. Like, just at home sit and just like pull. So my kids are like, Mom. I'm like,
nah, it's
you know what? Memory. One day I hope you don't have to see this happen, but if you do, you'll know that I'm there to do it.
Exactly, yeah.
And so story recently, actually, we took our kids to the Sea Life Aquarium at Arizona Mills, which we know is sketch and that kind of thing. And so
I'm new to Arizona, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. So Arizona Mills, like when you drive up there, you'll see like towers, like for watching the parking lots, and like they have bait car signs. Like, it's a little bit sketch, and it's known for like abductions. And so before we even got out of the car, I had to talk with my kids. I'm like, okay, everybody has a hand. No one's out of line of sight. Like. And so I had that talk, like, this place is known for this, and you need to be aware. And like, your heads are on swivels, our faces aren't in our phones, like, we see each other all the time. And so we went to the aquarium because it has like the Legoland and the aquarium there. It's actually a pretty decent aquarium for a decent price. And so my son, he will tell you the Latin name of a dinosaur.
Oh, wow.
Like he's like Pachycephalosaurus, Deinonychus, like he knows them. But so that's why I'm like, I know there's capacity, we just have to find his niche for learning. Sorry, that was a sidetrack.
No, you're good.
And he loves sea life, like ocean animals, like he loves them. So those are just two like things that like pique his interest. So anyways, when we were at Arizona Mills, we obviously went through, walked some of the stores, and there was just like, it's a girl store, like Q or Charlotte Russe, like the equivalent of that kind of thing. We're walking through it, and like my son wanted to look at all like the little like Labubu toys that were in there. So my husband was with my son. We always like kind of do the divide and conquer. So one of us is with him and then the other is with the girls. And so my girls were looking, and so I'm like, I was constantly looking at them. We were like the only people in the store besides the clerk. And then there was like a mom and daughter. And then I look over and there's a dude standing by himself, like chilling, like kind of just walking around looking. But he had his phone out, he's sticking to the walls. And I go, girls. And they're like, what? I'm like, hey, by me. I hung it up and I look at him, I go, I got out my phone, I just started filming him. He like put his phone away and walked away. I go, you shine the light on cockroaches and they'll run. I go, don't be embarrassed, because if they're actually looking, like, oh, I'm just looking, okay, keep looking. But you point somebody out and they're gonna be gone. Like I don't care.
Oh.
I will look embarrassed, I don't care. But I'm gonna make sure that you do not feel comfortable in this situation. If you're here to scope out my children or myself, nope, you can keep going. So and I felt like I had that like hairs on the back of my neck where like something is not right. And so I went up to my husband, like, and I told my girls, I'm like, that was for that reason. Like, I don't know what his intentions were, but I made sure they weren't.
I mean, you can guess.
Yeah.
If you're in a toy store for kids.
It was
a
girl's store.
Jeez.
He was a middle-aged man that didn't have any children with him. I'm like, there was no reason for you to be in this store.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't even like looking at the clothes. You're kind of keeping to the side of the wall. So, okay. So
wow.
It is obviously doing this kind of work has helped me to be more aware. And my daughter, her friends come over, like, I love the fact that we're the house that friends come over to. Because I am that person, like, you bring your friend, my children's friends are my children. Like,
right.
Once they step foot in my house, they are considered my own. And so if we go anywhere, like, if I give them the same speech, I go, you are always at least 3 deep, like, my daughter used to be 4, but now they're a little bit older. I'm like, you have 3 girls with you, and I'm like, fine, mom. And I go, and I'll text her, like, Marco, and she's like, Paula, this is where I'm at. And like, I have her location, that kind of thing, but it's very much like, be aware of your surroundings, and if it came to it, this is what we're gonna do. And so we were driving, and it was later at night, and this car was following us for a while. And my bag's always right behind me, like right here, I can grab it. And so my daughter's in the back. I'm like, hey, hand me my bag. And they're like, what do you need? I'm like, just hand me my bag. And it was sitting in my hand, like I'm driving, my hand's right here. They're like, Mom. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm not gonna waste time. Like, nah. And so they know, it's like, okay, hand me my bag. It's like, oh, okay, Mom.
It's go time.
And that's the thing. And so, like, it's either I'm paying for in and out or, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely been a good learning experience for me and my kids, because I feel like growing up, it was definitely sheltered. Like, I grew up on a farm. It was all very, like, we left our doors unlocked. It was very...
Yeah. Sometimes open.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's how I grew up. Like, we were home before the streetlights were on. My parents never knew where we were. Like, we were home, and it's a different world now, unfortunately. And so I feel like growing up in that bubble, I had those rose-colored glasses on. And so now kind of seeing different things and working with the people I have and being educated, I don't have a jaded view, but I have an understanding now. Not necessarily of, oh, nothing's going to happen, but if it does happen, then I am prepared for it and I'm ready for it. So that's been my biggest thing.
So where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years in the training world in the firearms industry?
I would love to get like my USCCA certification into being more training wise. I would definitely like to work more with women and just maybe even just doing classes like women's, like free women's nights coming in, trying out, maybe partnering with firearms companies to, hey, we're having a gun fitting night. Like, these are women that are looking for their first guns. Try these ones out. Like, stuff like that would be amazing to do, because I feel like going into a gun store And in the gun area, there's so many men, and it gets very intimidating and overwhelming. And if you don't have somebody that knows what they're doing, or you don't know what you're doing, you're just like I've gained that confidence because of what I've done. I will go straight up and like, okay, this is what I want to hold, this is what I want to try out. But a year ago, no, I would not have been okay to do that. And so it's like, I want to give women the confidence to step into there and be like, this is what I want to try. And so I think 3 to 5 years, I would definitely like to be more on the progressing to like level 2, level 3, more like a physical pistol, that kind of thing. Maybe somewhere down the road if I got in competitive, that would be awesome, but that's really not a huge aspiration for me. The tactical games look like a blast. Like
that would be great for you.
Rope climbs are my jam.
Did you try the proving grounds when you were?
I didn't, because I was at the booth
you gotta
the whole
meet Sarah.
time.
You'd love her. Yeah.
So the first day we did the pros versus Joes. I won. I was like, because Missy's like, you're gonna be the pro. I was like, okay, like,
because I've lost every pros versus Joes as the pro I've ever done. Like, I just told them, don't put me on anymore.
So I won that one, right? So I end up winning, and they're like, sorry, you're a pro, you don't get anything. I'm all, okay. But then the next day, they picked somebody else to do it, and we had a girl from Scottsdale PD come, and she was like the Joe. She wrecked everybody. Yeah. She owned that course. I'm all, okay, glad I didn't do the pro today. But it was awesome. And then I got to talking to her. She actually does the tactical games, and she podiums. She does a great job, and so she's super nice. And, but yeah, it's a fun thing. Like, I would love to look more into that, just because like those are both my jams. Except I'm not really a rifle person, so I definitely have to get more into the rifles part of it. So
that's not too hard. Shooting a rifle is easier than a pistol.
It is, but I'm acclimated to a pistol right now, and so it's just one of those, I can use my body to steady with a rifle as opposed to like, okay, calm down. Yeah. So I definitely looking into the future, I would love to bring, I guess, the message of caring to more women, like just having it be more normal, more common practice. That's definitely a mission that I would love to get into more, and having Ronin women get bigger and providing women with a safe place to meet others and not feel judged and just come and have a good time and enjoy and shoot some guns.
That's amazing to hear. That was a great way to sign off. Where can everybody find you, follow you, get in touch with you? Honestly,
I'm on Instagram. My handle is at Aubstapes, so AUBSTAPES. I'm pretty much that. That's where we put all of our stuff out. Also at Ronin Women, so it's just RONIN Women. And then Stay Ready AZ. Those are our training, and we'll post all of our classes stuff coming up on there. So
got you, and that's on social media, website, all of
that. Stay Ready AZ is a website, but it's also on Instagram. So I don't think we have Facebook.
Might want to.
I know. That's what I told him. I was telling him, like, we need to get into like the community groups, like throw it out there and be like, because there's a lot of, cause, like, unfortunately there have been stories of like just like Queen Creek Marketplace, people are like walking through and people almost getting snatched and stuff. So I'm like, people are looking for this. They just, if they don't happen, we're not in their algorithm, it doesn't see us. And so, yeah.
Got you. Well, thank you for joining me. This might be my favorite episode to date. We'll have to do a part 2 on the range.
Let's do it.
We can do a little demo and tutorials.
100%.
But again, thank you for joining me, and we're out, guys.